shaping a horseshoe, the clatter of wooden wheels on muddy ground, the bleating of sheep, and the faint cry of a baby who has probably already been given a small task to do. Children grow up fast here. There's no such thing as childhood the way you know it you pass a bakery, if you can call it that, inside. Someone's baking rough brown bread made from barley and rye, the kind that's so dense it could double as a weapon if you're a peasant. This will be your meal today, maybe with a little soup made from whatever you could find yesterday. If you're lucky, there's cabbage. If you're really lucky, no bugs. The village smells like smoke, sweat, animals, and wet straw, but oddly, after a few minutes, you stop noticing. The secret of medieval life. Your senses adjust to the discomfort. It becomes normal. There's a strange peace in that, and a rush. No schedule except sunrise and sunset. You live by the rhythm of nature, and in a way, nature owns you completely. Somewhere nearby, the church bell rings. Its sound cuts through the cold air, a slow, heavy tone echoing across the fields. It's not just a call to prayer. It's the village clock. People don't wear watches, and time here isn't measured by hours. It's measured by light, by sound, by chores. You look up at the sky. It's gray, pale, and endless. There's no pollution, but there's also no color. Just sky. Empty and quiet, like everything else. You start walking toward the fields, carrying a wooden hoe that's been passed down for generations. Your hands are rough and blistered. Your clothes are patched a dozen times, and your shoes, if you have any, are little more than stitched leather and hope, but somehow you feel grounded. There's no confusion about who you are or what you must do. You live. You work. You eat. You sleep. Repeat. As the morning goes on, the village comes alive. The marketplace opens, filled with chatter and barter. People trade eggs for bread, wool for milk, gossip for news. Coins exist, sure, but most of the time, there's no money to spare. Everyone owes someone something, and yet, the system somehow works. Let's pause here for a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine the soft murmur of voices, the sound of a wooden cart creaking as it passes, the rhythmic sound of footsteps on dirt, the low hum of bees. Near a patch of wildflowers, it's boring, but beautifully boring, the kind of boredom that soothes your mind, because here, nothing unexpected happens, and that's a kind of peace modern life rarely offers. The sun is finally climbing higher now. Its light spills over thatched roofs and muddy roads, warming your cold hands just a little. You can smell bread baking again, and for a moment, you almost feel happy. Because in this world, small comforts mean everything. A warm loaf. A sunny day. A moment of rest, but as peaceful as it feels. Remember, this is just the morning. You still have a long day ahead. And in medieval times, every day was a test of endurance. For now, though, let's stay in this gentle moment standing in the village square, surrounded by people who lived and died centuries ago. They didn't know they were part of history. They were just living, just like you are now. Breathe in, breathe out. Let time slow down. The day is only beginning, and you wouldn't last a day in medieval times. But it's okay to imagine. Drift. Let your mind wander deeper into the past. Hide toothbrushes. No toothpaste. Definitely not. People use twigs or cloth. Or sometimes just ignored the issue entirely. A toothache could last weeks. It got bad enough. Someone might pull the tooth out with pliers heated over a fire. No anesthesia. No mercy. You can almost feel your jaw tighten just thinking about it. But here's the thing. People got used to pain. They accepted it as part of life. There was no concept of comfort the way we know it today. Comfort was not a goal, it was a fantasy. Now picture yourself in the middle of the village again. It's noon. The sun is bright. And the air smells of wood smoke and freshly cut grass. Children chase chickens through the mud. A group of men repairs a roof using straw and clay. Women wash clothes in a nearby stream, their laughter rising over the sound of rushing water. The simplicity is oddly soothing. Everyone has a role. Everyone belongs. Of course, disease is never far away. A small cut could mean infection. A cough could turn into something fatal. Doctors exist, but their methods are questionable. Leeches, herbs, prayers, and potions. You were sick. You hoped for divine intervention more than medical help, and yet, somehow, people kept living, generation after generation. Evening approaches slowly. You've worked all day, and your stomach grumbles again. Dinner is much like breakfast, only warmer. Porridge, bread, maybe some stew if luck is on your side. You eat by candlelight, though candles are expensive, so the flame is small and precious. After dinner, you sit outside your small hut, listening to the sounds of the village fading. The chatter quiets, the sky turns orange, then purple. You can hear distant singing, simple songs passed down for centuries, about love, work, and the weather. And no one sings to be famous. They sing because it feels good to be alive for another day. There's something beautiful in that. No distractions, no expectations, just the slow rhythm of existence. You begin to understand how time felt back then. Thick, heavy, endless. Each day was long, but the years slipped by like whispers. You look up, the sky is clear now, filled with stars and no city lights. No noise, just silence and the gentle hum of night. And the distance, an owl calls. Someone closes a wooden door. The fire crackles softly. You breathe in the cool air, and for a moment, you almost feel content. Life is hard, yes, but it's also simple, pure, and real. You're connected to everything around you. The earth, the sky, the passing time. It's boring, but it's peaceful, and sometimes boring is exactly what your mind needs to rest. So, as night begins to fall, you let go of the modern world. You listen to the sounds of medieval life fading into darkness, and you realize you might not survive a day here, but your thoughts can. Your imagination can wander here, safely, quietly, endlessly. Pale from lack of sunlight, his teeth blackened by too much sugar and bad hygiene, he may rule a kingdom, but he hasn't slept peacefully in years. Enemies lurk outside the walls, and sometimes inside them too. Queens and princesses didn't have it much easier. They lived lives of duty, not choice, married off for politics. Not love. Their clothes were beautiful but suffocating, layers of fabric and metal embroidery that weighed more than some peasants' weekly harvest. And beauty, even then, came with pain.Lee-based makeup, tight corsets, endless rituals to please a world that never stopped judging. You wander deeper into the castle. You find the sleeping chambers, if you can call them that. A large wooden bed sits in the center of the room, covered with furs and sheets that haven't been washed in weeks. Candles flicker. The air is cold, even here. There's no fireplace in every room. Firewood is expensive, and even the wealthy must ration it. You can hear the wind moaning through the cracks in the stone. Even kings shiver at night. In another corner, you find the servants' quarters, small rooms, barely larger than closets, where those who serve the royal family sleep side by side in no beds, just straw mats and tired bodies. They wake before dawn, and their work never ends. Cleaning, cooking, hauling water up endless stairs. And yet, many of them believe they're lucky, because working in the castle means food, even if it's leftovers. It means safety, even if it's an illusion. Somewhere below, in the deepest part of the castle, lies the dungeon, dark, damp, and silent, except for the occasional drip of water or a muffled cough. Prisoners wait there for weeks, months, sometimes years, forgotten by everyone except the rats. the air smells of rust, decay, and hopelessness. Even imagining it makes you grateful for the comfort of your bed tonight. Let's step outside for a moment. The night sky stretches wide above the castle, stars glimmering like tiny candles. The air is cold, but still you can hear wolves howling in the distance, their cries echoing through the hills. Eerie and beautiful. You realize that even in its harshness, this world had a strange kind of magicked up silence that modern life has lost. You look down at the village below. The faint glow of fires, the slow rhythm of life. For a moment, the line between peasant and noble feels meaningless. Everyone, no matter how rich or poor, lived under the same sky. Everyone feared the same cold, the same hunger, the same unknown future. The difference was only in decoration. Inside the castle again, the laughter has faded, the fire burns low, the nobles retire to their rooms, the servants begin cleaning up the mess, the great hall grows quiet, except for the crackle of firewood and the soft clink of metal cups. You can almost hear the centuries passing in that silence, the weight of history settling into stone. You walk slowly through the corridors again. Your footsteps echo, the air feels heavy, but your thoughts begin to drift. This world, with all its struggle and beauty, feels far away now, like a fading dream, and maybe that's what history really is. A collection of dreams, half remembered, half real. You pass a window. The moonlight spills through the narrow slit, casting long shadows on the floor. Somewhere far below, the river glimmers faintly. The night is calm now, still timeless. You close your eyes. The sound of the castle fades. The torches flicker. The wind hums softly against the stone walls. And as your mind drifts deeper into that silence, you realize, for all its glory, wealth, and power, medieval life was still just life, hard, strange, and fleeting. The kings, the peasants, the knights, the servants, all of them shared the same truth. Every day was borrowed. Every night was uncertain, and every soul, no matter how powerful, eventually found peace in sleep. So now, let yourself rest too. The castle fades, the stars blur, and the story slows to a gentle whisper. Tomorrow will come another hard, beautiful, ordinary day in medieval times. But for now, it's night, and it's time to close your eyes. The last traces of sunlight fade behind the hills, and the medieval village sinks into a soft, blue darkness. The fires in the cottages flicker like tiny stars across the land. You can hear the sound of crickets, faint, steady, calming in somewhere. A dog barking in distance. Survived another day. Your body aches, your hands are raw, and your stomach still feels half empty, but you're alive. And the Middle Ages. That alone is an achievement. You sit near the dying fire, watching the sparks rise and vanish. The air smells of wood and earth, damp and real. You pull your rough wool blanket tighter around your shoulders. There's no silence here, not really, just the low hum of life in the darkness. The wind moving through trees, the whisper of animals shifting in their sleep. The slow crackle of the fire's last embers. But then, another sound breaks through the quiet. A cough, then another, and you remember disease is never far away. The Middle Ages were a time when sickness had no mercy. A simple cold could turn deadly, a small wound could fester and take a life, and sometimes a shadow would spread across the land, something people feared more than war itself. The plague. It arrived silently, carried by rats and fleas. No one knew what it was. No one knew how to stop it. All they knew was that one day your neighbor would be laughing, and the next, the church bells would toll for him. You lie back on your bed of straw, listening to those bells now distant, echoing through the valley. Zum dum dum. They don't sound cruel, they sound tired. As if even death, in this world, is weary, yet life goes on. It always does. A mother hushes her baby to sleep. A farmer murmurs a prayer for better harvest. A lonely monk, miles away, copies sacred texts by candlelight, and you just one tiny heartbeat in this vast, forgotten world. You pull your blanket up to your chin and stare at the ceiling. There are holes between the wooden boards. Through them, you can see the stars, not city lights, not airplanes, just stars. Endless and clear, the same ones that kings, peasants, and wanderers all gazed upon centuries before. You think of them now. How strange it is that no matter how hard life becomes, the sky above never changes. The same moon shines on the castles and the huts alike. The same wind brushes the faces of the rich and the poor. Maybe that's the secret of surviving here. Not comfort, not wealth, but the quiet acceptance that every night will end, and every morning will return. The fire sighs softly. The village has gone still, and you, the weary traveler of time, close your eyes. and your dream, you walk once more through the fields, but this time, they're golden. The air smells of summer, and the sky is brighter than you remember. No pain, no hunger, no fear, just peace. You hear laughter, the same villagers you saw in daylight, but now, their faces are warm and calm. They greet you like an old friend, as if you've always belonged here. The castle on the hill glows faintly in the distance, not cold and dark, but alive, its windows sparkling like candles floating in the night. And as you walk toward it, the sound of the world begins to fade, the crickets, the wind, even your heartbeat, everything grows softer, slower, until all that remains is breath and stillness, sleep. Traveler, your journey through the Middle Ages is over. The fields will wait for you. The bells will rest for tonight. You've seen the hardship, the hunger, and the beauty hidden beneath it all. You've lived a day and a lifetime in a world long gone. Now close your eyes, let the night take you, and drift gently into sleep.